So we're here today for our Better Safe Than Sorry vlog talk show. And we have one of our interns, which is Sydney, and a friend of hers, Jake. Yeah, this is Jake. And Jake, where are you in school?
I go to the University of Miami.
Wow, that's great. What do you study?
I'm a psychology major.
Really?
Yeah.
And Sydney, what is your major? Psychology. Wow, you guys could go into like family therapy, couples therapy, right? One day. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I know Jake, you've been following our blog for a while, right?
Yeah, I've watched most of the videos.
Yeah, and so you are Monkey Boy Jake.
Monkey Child Jake.
Monkey Child Jake. And we need to apologize for the background noise, but we're doing this outside and it's a little bit noisy. There's some construction going on, but hopefully people can hear what we're saying.
Right.
So Monkey Child Jake, and you must have gotten that when you were a little kid, right?
Yeah.
Was that your nickname?
No, I just made a screen name, and that's what it was.
Very
Yeah, I think my sister did it for me, actually.
Monkey Child, well, maybe she thought you were a monkey
Yeah,
child.
I was
right?
a little monkey child.
Climbing all the time.
Yeah.
Very cool. So you've been following our blog, and what have you been thinking of it? I mean,
That it's very helpful, and that there needs to be more awareness. It's a shame that people don't know about it when it's such a big problem.
and what struck you the most when you found out about this issue?
Sydney told me some statistic relating it to autism. What was it?
It was 1% of school-age kids are affected by autism, and 2 to 6% are affected by FASD.
Yeah, that's a big number.
Yeah, that really surprised me.
Yeah, so an FASD can look a little bit like autism, right? And it can look a little bit like ADHD and a bunch of other problems.
And FASD, if you have it, sometimes you can have autism as well.
Right, right. There was a study done in England on that topic. A guy went into an autism clinic and studied patients in it to see how many of those had FASD, and actually he found a pretty high percentage. You can Google that. The study, I think, came out in 2013, just last year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So people have been trying to do the link. I wrote a paper on the link. It's now a book chapter in an international book on autism. And it's FASD and autism or Asperger's. It's a clinical link. And it's just that a lot of women don't know they're pregnant early on, right? Which is a shame. And then they're using alcohol and then their baby might end up with autism. So now we have also been doing a little bit of work to get our campaign sort of off the ground and doing something for FASD Awareness Day.
Right.
Sydney, do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, well, the other day, a few interns and I went to Bethesda, and we tried to ask bars if they would like to participate in our campaigns. And 2 of them were very interested. One of them was not an independent bar, so they had to make sure that it was okay with the owner. And then the second one we talked to was automatically interested, independent bar, already put it on the calendar, and we're very excited to do it.
Yeah, so what we're doing is we're partnering, Jake, with Planned Parenthood of Metropolitan Washington, and they are donating 999 condoms. And we're going to be producing a little bookmark, which we've pretty much gotten. We just need to have it printed. That would go around the condoms, and for each first drink of the evening sold at the bar, the person would get a condom with this information sheet that will say, things like, according to the Surgeon General, if you are pregnant or planning a pregnancy, you should avoid alcohol, and you should avoid pregnancy if you're using alcohol. And then promoting use of condoms as a way to prevent fetal alcohol spectrum disorder. Kind of like with the AIDS epidemic. You guys came up after the AIDS epidemic, right? But if you think about it, this is a very similar phenomenon to the AIDS epidemic because it's something that is preventable, and you have to start before you find out you're pregnant. actually before you even get pregnant, right?
And that's why we're giving that condoms.
And condoms, right? Like the have you heard about like the thing in Alaska where they're doing the pregnancy test kits in bars?
Someone told me about it. Yes.
Okay, Sydnie told you about that. So have you? Yeah.
It's it was an anonymous donor, right?
Yeah, well, initially an anonymous donor donated like 4 of these pregnancy test kits to bars in Minnesota as like kind of, okay, you need to really have women thinking about whether they're pregnant if they're going to be drinking. And then the state of Alaska loved that idea, and recently one of their legislators decided that he was going to go on an FASD campaign, you know, to really promote awareness about it so that they reduce the numbers of kids with this problem, because in Alaska they have a huge native population, right? And so they decided to take his idea and launch it there in Alaska, which I think is a great idea, right?
Yes, I do. And I think to take it one step further, you're already pregnant.
Right.
Prevent pregnancy by using condoms.
So that's why we say go more upstream, right?
Right.
Go upstream, and no pun intended with, you know,
Right.
swimming and that kind of thing. But if you think about it, we have to go before the sperm hit their target, right? Before, you know, conception happens, we need to think about preventing pregnancy if you're going to use alcohol, and that's our whole motto, right, Sydnie?
It is. It's on the bookmark. It's on our business card. It's everywhere we can put it.
And anybody we meet, we tell them that. And as soon as, you know, they walk away from us, what should they know, Sydnie?
They should know that if they are planning or are pregnant, not to drink, and if you don't want to get pregnant, use contraception.
Yes.
And if you want to drink alcohol, use contraception.
Right, exactly. That's a very good point. Now, you're going back to college, both of you, coming up soon. When do you go back to Miami?
End of August.
And you're going to Salisbury?
I go on the 18th.
What do you think you could do at your colleges to kind of, are you in Greek life at all?
No, I'm not.
Okay, but you are, Sydnie. So what could you do on your college campuses to kind of promote awareness about our blog and about what you're trying to do?
Well, at least in my school, since it's smaller, the whole Greek community is pretty close-knit, and we have these meetings once a month with every sorority and fraternity, and we also have meetings once a month with just all the sororities. So I was thinking I can contact the director of Greek Life, Student Affairs of Greek Life, and ask her if we could put together a talk at one of these meetings, because it's always someone talking. And it's, you know, targeted to our age group.
Yeah.
So they would benefit a lot from the information that we could give them.
Yeah, and people would think that it's, Jake, just like low-income women or, you know, women who aren't educated. But I had done a study back in 1997, 98 with NOFAS, the National Organization on Fetal Alcohol Syndrome. I was looking at the birth certificate registries in DC. And what we found was that of the Caucasian women who continued to drink in pregnancy, 68% had 16 or more years of education. So they were college graduates, right? So the target audience for, you know, what Sydnie would like to do with Greek Life, I think is totally appropriate. And that might be a model for your school that could then be launched at other schools.
And Caitlin and I are going to be talking about it and trying to see if we can put something like that together, not only my school, her school too.
And she's at University of South Carolina,
Right.
right? And we have other interns at other schools. I know Juliana is down at Tulane,
She's
or at Loyola.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And then the 2 other interns may join Greek Life,
Yes.
potentially, and if they do, they'll have the resources to do the same thing.
Right. Natalie, I think she's going to Syracuse. And then
Harley.
Harley.
To High Point.
Right. and they may join a sorority, right? So there is that. So when you think about this problem, we have, Jake, understood that it's not just women that need to understand. What do you think guys need to understand about this?
I like the idea of putting the condoms in the bars because when someone's, going out and drinking, they're not thinking of, possible repercussions. But when you're handing out, a condom that has, a fact sheet on it, then everything gets a little more real, and they could actually, kind of think for a second. So I think that would be very helpful.
And it takes two, right?
Right.
And a lot of times guys are actually wanting to sort of lubricate the girl a little bit psychologically to get her into the mood to have sex by using alcohol, right? I mean, if you think about it, a lot of guys do that.
Of course.
I mean, I know you would never take advantage of girls in that way, but there are some guys who target the girls in bars that are drunk or, looking like they're party girls, so to speak. And in that way, we always say it's as much of the boy's responsibility or the man's responsibility as the woman.
And we did talk about, I think it was our second talk show with Nick, about how when women are pregnant and they abstain from alcohol, should the man as well to support them.
What do you think about that, Jake?
I think that's a decision that a couple has to make together. If the woman really wants that, then I'm all for it.
Well, I think very often a lot of women are a little bit, I don't know if you'd say weak, but maybe they're just not as strong advocates for themselves. And I think sometimes it takes the guy just saying, you know what, you're not drinking for this 9 months, let me just make both of us the Shirley Temples,
I like that. Just like if couples work out together, help them out.
Alcohol together.
Yeah, they abstain from alcohol. And preconceptually is the idea, if you're planning a pregnancy, it takes 3 months for sperm to develop, believe it or not. And even though it wouldn't necessarily cause the fetal alcohol syndrome, we do know that a man's use of alcohol, and especially heavy use, can cause what's called epigenetic changes in the sperm that lead to their offspring being more likely to have alcohol dependency, believe it or not. So, when you think about that, you might want to think about, taking a step back and saying, hey, if it takes 3 months for my sperm to develop, maybe I should be using prenatal vitamins, and because there are prenatal vitamins for men, and maybe I should be taking care of my body and avoiding harmful substances, for that time, because you want the fastest, most aggressive sperm, right, to get to the target.
Healthy.
And healthy, that's the whole point, healthy lifestyles. Was a delight to meet you. And Sydnie, did you have anything else that you wanted to share? Because I know this is your last time being able to, at least for this summer.
I just want to say that I didn't know what to expect coming into it, but I gained so much more than I ever anticipated from this interview. And I'm happy to
Well, good. Hopefully you'll come back next year.
Of course I will.
And we will be doing a little bit more.
Okay.
And if you'd like, Jake, I don't know where you're going to be next summer. I think you were abroad for most of the summer, right?
For the spring, we're going abroad.
Oh, wow. So next spring you will. Where are you going?
We're going on semester at sea.
That is so fabulous. And together. That is great. Now, where will you go to see?
All around Asia and Africa.
Is that fabulous or what?
Yeah, very excited.
And will you be taking courses?
Yeah, it's on the ship that we're going to be traveling on.
So fabulous. And so you'll get to go off and explore those countries and cities. Wow.
Can't wait.
That will be the experience of a lifetime, right?
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it'll get you into the mood to travel later on in your life, right? You probably already travel a lot, but I mean, to really explore exotic places and not be afraid.
And I've never been the type of person to like to stay, or when I travel, to like to stay in one place. When I travel, I want to go see multiple places.
Yeah, and
So
this
this is
way,
perfect.
this way, all your stuff's on the ship. They just take you around to all the different places, and
Right.
it's not like you have to move. You
Right.
know?
That's great.
Wow, wonderful. Well, you guys have a great time.
Thank you.
Come back next summer.
We will.
And you intern with us next summer, then, Jake. How
Yeah,
about
maybe
that?
I could talk to the bars around Coral Gables.
This is true. And hey, maybe we could take a trip over winter break and do a big campaign at winter break, right?
Yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
wouldn't
make
that
a
be
whole
great?
video of it.
Exactly. Wouldn't
Yeah.
that be great?
It would.
That would be great.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Another
You guys got good
documentary of
ideas.
yours.
Exactly.
Well, the
You've
bar
got
scene's
great
much
ideas.
more popular in Miami.
Really?
And you'd also be targeting adults too, because it's not just
Right.
college
So there's
students
a mix
there.
of people.
It's very
Yeah.
mixed there.
And what would you say in Bethesda? Is it mixed or no?
I would say it's our age to
20-something?
late 20s, mid to late 20s.
Yeah. But that's a good
Yeah,
age
and
to
that's
hit, right?
and that's our target age.
That is our target age. Our target age is a fairly small window because we know that by the time you're 30 or so, you're kind of stuck in the ways that you think. And it's hard to change your behaviors.
Yeah.
So, well, great. So Coral Gables, here we come.
Yeah.
All right. Well, good luck this fall and good luck in the spring with that wonderful, exciting adventure, right?
Thank you.
And we will be back, I guess, again next summer.
Yeah, can't wait. Bye.